What's up everybody, and welcome to my second video. I want to go over some Darkpool information, specifically on Tesla that I've been seeing. I think an uptick in larger prints, and by larger I mean million shares and up. Um, get a lot of questions on Darkpool. I'll try to answer some of them, specifically buys or sells. No, you cannot tell if anything is a buy or sell. Anyone telling you they do know is lying to you, and you should unfollow them. They're full of shit. Um, all we can do from them is mark them on the chart, use them as areas of interest, and kind of see when names are getting accumulated. It's good for sector rotation. We saw BABA get hit pretty hard pre-market Friday into an area of support and saw a nice move out of that on it. So it's just another tool to add to our arsenal. I want to show you on the platform how to look for dark pool, search for them. We do have a handy feature where you can add dark pools to your chart live here. You can see this print that came in on Friday right here, and you can back it up and even go further and see how the areas get built out. But I've taken all the notable prints in my opinion and put them on a chart for us. We'll go over that in a minute. First off, let's go through the black box historical Darkpool prints and show you how to use that. So we'll pull up Tesla, we'll go to our alert stream, we'll check our filters over here. Only interested in Darkpool, so we'll get rid of all of these. And then we'll go to our date range, and what I've done is I've gone through the whole year. So we'll do January 1st through today. We'll set our filters, and it'll pull all the Darkpool information all the way back to January 1st of this year. I've compiled everything in the range we're currently in. Anything over 200 I really haven't looked into too hard because it's not relevant yet. And we do have this button right here where you can download all this data into an Excel spreadsheet and do whatever your heart desires with it if you so choose to do so. But that's the gist of how to search anything. You can do that with any ticker. What is a bigger dark pool in Tesla or a big cap name? In my opinion, I think a million shares or over is notable, and I would mark it. It can get kind of noisy when you start focusing on these 100,000 share prints. Like this 173.74 got hit, and it would add up to be something, but still not over a million shares. So I try to take some of the noise out and look for million share prints or runs in the same pricing range that would add up to a million shares. Darkpool prints are used specifically to hide intent. Again, so we're going back to the buy or sell thing. We can't tell that. Sometimes you'll see options flow tied to Darkpool, and I'll post those multi-legs sometimes. Sometimes this is the head shares when I post risk reversals and things like that. Otherwise, you kind of want to see Darkpools come in clean without any options tied to it. Anyway, here is a Tesla 1 hour chart. It has been compressing sideways here, and a very small range for Tesla, but with 13 points here for the entire month of May. We had that run up obviously from earnings where Tesla was completely washed out. A lot of negative sentiment going around, especially on Twitter. And now it's kind of died out some as it's gone sideways and shaking a lot of people out. It's had a few fake breakouts. You could draw a trend line here. Where you could have said, well, Tesla's breaking out, and then the next day it completely fades everything. So we'll focus on some horizontal support and resistances here. I've marked out anything, a million shares right here is the smallest thing I'll mark out. The biggest accumulation I saw was down here in this 161.5 to 164.5 area. Huge amount down here, 6.5 million shares. You can see how we consolidated sideways before our next leg. We really haven't gone back to test that since we broke out of it. You could say this right here was kind of a retest through this area, but not quite that dark pool. Otherwise, this 172.5, 173 area has been a huge support. And then this 186.66, 187 area we cannot break over. What's interesting with Darkpool is I like volume profile. I think it's a very handy tool. So when these Darkpool shares come in, they do build out volume profile as well. And I've got two anchored VWAPs here on the chart. This is from the year to date, so January 2nd, the first trading day of the year. And this is from our most recent low here. So we're in an anchored VWAP pinch within these Darkpool prints, which I think is interesting if you're into that stuff. It kind of is like a nerdy thing, I guess, but I don't know. I kind of like that shit. So what can we take from this information? Well, we can clearly define an area of support here with the Darkpool and an area of resistance, right? While we're in this range, we can continue to trade the ranges if we want. If that's your thing, scalping intraday, you can take a shot at shorts as we start to get up into this upper range, and you can take a shot at longs down here into this lower range, knowing, you know, you can stop out either side if it does break. What we do want to see, though, eventually is a break out of this compression altogether and be there for the move. So I'll continue to monitor these Darkpool prints and see if we get any more activity, but I think this is a pretty good range and some levels marked up that you can see we respect pretty well here, especially with these anchored VWAPs. I don't want to get too far into that, as you know, we are mainly talking about Darkpool here, but now what we want to see is some great options flow, and that can be tricky with Tesla. It is one of the most liquid, heavily traded option stocks there are. You see a lot of bad flow and a lot of messy stuff. So we'll have to be careful with that, but I think the safest thing to do, and I'm not a big breakout guy, I don't like, you know, suggesting chasing breakouts or anything, but a break out of this range either way and a retest would be ideal, so we can try and like get a hand of what we're going for. It is a bit of open space if we can get through this 186.5, 187 area to move back to the upside. I personally don't have a bias. I could try and sell you one to sound interesting, but I really don't care that much. On a 4 hour, you could kind of make a case for like a fucked up inverse head and shoulders coming in here. You've got a slight left shoulder, a big head, and then the right shoulder here, this messy neckline break. But, you know, it's hard to say. That's why I would just say play wait and see on it. But definitely notice an uptick in Darkpool prints. I want to keep an eye on this thing for a break of this range. I think it is making for a next leg and will make a really nice move when it gets out of it. So, you know, make sure you are following for if I do post the flow and we get anything good. But hopefully we'll catch the move when it gets out of this range. So that's what I have for you. You know, if you have any questions or anything, I'll try and answer them. If you want a deeper dive on Darkpool, we can go into that at some point. Hopefully this gives you some type of overview and what I'll be looking for on Tesla and gives you the same. I would suggest getting these levels on your chart so that you can also follow along and see what we do. And I think they can add some value to your intraday trading as well while we do continue to move throughout this range. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see y'all again soon. Thanks.